What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Uno battery update. What have I been doing with the cells? Let me kind of show you. So this right here is a brick, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 basically in parallel, because this right here is a row, that's a row. These are in parallel, these are in series in parallel. Basically, you get the picture there, but what we got, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28 batteries just in this one row. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows. We got more batteries here. We got batteries here. So what have I been doing with them? Well, I've been taking them apart, and I ordered a PVC sheet kit to rewrap them. So I've been rewrapping them. And they also come with the protectors to go on the top of the battery right there. This right here kit. I can't remember what I paid for it, but I'll put it in the description below if you guys mess with 18650s. So I've ordered that sheet. I ordered a welder. Okay. And the first thing that I did with them is I built me a 15 cell, 9 amp hour DeWalt battery, which is a 20 volt or 18 volt battery, whichever one you'd say. This battery case, I got it on Amazon. It was like $17. And then I used these cells. This was one of the cells from this right here unit. I still need to go in and kind of clean it up a little bit before we weld to it. Now, some of the batteries I probably won't use, like this one here. Okay, and this was an in-row because you can tell it's got this foam all over it. Okay, and see the in-rows get the foam inside the caps there. But this is the way they were using it, so I'm gonna use it as well, especially for a drill battery. Now, we looked up these cells here. Let's see if it'll focus on us. This is a 3 amp hour cell, 15 amp output, and the DeWalt batteries on these right here, these are 2 amp cells, so 2000 milliamps. And it's like, I want to say between a 15 or 20 amp output. Now this right here only has 5 batteries in it. And I have a bunch of these, and I never did have one of these right here, so that's why I decided to build me one. Now, I'm sure this is not the kind of content you want. If you want to just leave the video, fine, I understand. It's not the same kind of content I make. A lot of people was like, you could have just replaced the BMS and made golf cart batteries. Well, I can use these, you know what I mean, to make stuff like this, because this right here is everyday use. You know, when you're working on something, you could always use a tool battery, and a 9 amp or like a 10 amp DeWalt battery. They're like $200, 200 plus. You could get a Chinese knockoff on eBay or Amazon for like 50. But are they true 3 amp hour batteries? Or are they true 2 amp hour batteries or whatever? You don't never know. The price difference there, you know, for a battery that's $50 on eBay or Amazon versus 300 that's name brand, that's a big difference. Even though some of the lower end batteries that's not name brand that are still producing pretty good, they're like $150, $200. So I decided to make me some of these batteries, and you know, this one right here, I've charged up one time so far. I've done all kinds of things. Actually, I used this right here drill with a 6-inch hole saw when I was drilling through the wall on the other side of the shop for the laser vent, and just about broke my wrist because it has so much more torque than the little 2 amp batteries. So I just came in here and I wrote 9AH for 9 amp hours, but this right here went together pretty good. And what I was thinking about for today's video, well, I got another one of these right here, and we'll open it up and show you what it looks like here in just a second. And we're planning on building that in today's video as well. Now, I got all of these batteries, but I started looking for more. And, you know, the general public, they don't know, I don't think they understand how batteries work. And you could actually take advantage of that. Trash days. I know in my town, people throw away good lawnmowers. They just need like a carburetor clean, or, you know, you have a weed eater that won't crank up. Generally, it's the carburetor. What I've started noticing is people are starting to throw away lithium-powered lawn equipment because the batteries go bad. And it might just be one cell in this entire pack here that goes bad, and the lawnmower won't run again. So I've started looking for those as well to, you know, so I could fix those and keep that for like a new tool around the shop. So the first thing I started doing was removing all the top pieces here. These are the pieces that would connect the tops in parallel. Okay, and ran from the top and on the bottom as well. You see there's still a little bit there and over there as well. There's a part there. It's got like a little bit, looks like a little rust here. And before we weld them in the next couple of parts, I actually take a, like the grinder, and I'll grind the bottom down just a little bit, like with the Dremel, and just so we can get a good weld on here. But we need to break these right here apart. I don't have my tripod, so I'm not gonna show it to you, but basically the only thing I'm doing is ripping these right here apart with my hand and get them on the table. And then what we're gonna do then is we're gonna take each one of these wrappers off and we're gonna wrap them. I'll show you the process of doing that as well. Pretty simple. I'm just taking a razor blade. I'm not going deep, guys. I'm just gonna support like that. Give me a break in there. Pop it open like that. Pretty simple. Top layers here. That's on there. Sorry, I was off camera a little bit. It just sticks to the top. Only thing I'm doing is just taking a sleeve, pop it open, and I'm actually taking the positive side in first. You could take either side you wanted to in, but I just don't want to take it in from the negative side and accidentally rip off the top of it there and peel it off. I don't want to do that, so I'm just wrapping it in there, putting it in here some, leaving some in here as well, and then take the heat gun to it and heat it up. All right, so I got 15 batteries here. These are already charged up. Got the case. I'm gonna go ahead and start putting the batteries inside the case and get everything spot welded together so we can start getting this battery together. I'll kind of show you how I've done these in the past, or done the other one in the past. I didn't bore you with showing you the battery cleaning. See, I just took the drill. I took a Dremel end and I used it on the end of the batteries. You can see that there, just to get the old spot weld off. Did it on the bottom too. I did it on all of these batteries here. It's gonna go into the kit. We're gonna start installing that next. All right, so we're gonna do positive going in. We'll do negative going in. Positive going in. Negative going in. And positive going in. All right, here's all the batteries in. You can see all of these have been grounded on just to get the old spot welds off. Looks like I may have missed one right here. Need to fix that one before I go any further. Here's the back ones. There. So I'm gonna fix this right here real quick. All right, there it is. I went ahead and took it out. It'd be easier to work on it versus that way. So put it back in there. Got the batteries in now. All right, so these are like, I think nickel plated strips. I'm gonna place them here. I'm gonna place one here, and then this one right here is gonna be open. And then when we start the reverse side, this one's gonna be single, these are together, and these are together. So this is a rechargeable spot welder here, got off Amazon. If you're into this kind of thing, I'll place a link in the description below. It's got a bunch of different settings, but this one here is on number 7, which is about midway through, maybe a little higher midway through. And is what we're gonna join the battery strips with here. So just Just making sure we're good, and we are. All right, so there is done. That's on there. I might go back and add maybe 1 or 2 in each one. I'm not gonna bore you with showing you all of them. Vice versa, I'll pick you back up once it's all done. All right, I'm done. This is what positive side here. This is the back of the battery. These two are in series, and this one right here is the negative side. Now, when I was putting the second strip on here, I accidentally got too close and it actually ripped off. So I had an extra roll of this this stuff here, this tinned nickel plated steel, or whatever you want to call it. Had some of that. I jumped it right there just to tie all of those right here together. Okay, so we should check our voltage now. We should be in the 20 volt range. We're going to do that. Let's see, we might have to go up to 200 volts on here. Now that's positive, negative. So we got 20.6 volts, so we're good to go there. All right, so we have our negative and positive in place. We need to cut some more of this nickel plated stuff here, and we're gonna spot weld it up here. We're gonna give us a little bit of length for our balance leads. We're gonna do one on this one, one on this one, one on here, and one on here. All right, the next step we're gonna do is we're gonna come in here and we're gonna cut these right here, the legs, off a little bit, but we're gonna bend it down. After we do it, we're gonna apply some solder to these. These 4 longer ones are gonna be the balance leads for the BMS. And this is gonna be your BMS and your input and output and everything here for the charger. This right here is gonna be the light that's on front of the battery. So you got your 3 indicator lights there, and then you got your button. This is gonna be the harness. The red wire and the black wire is gonna go to the indicator light. The rest of those 4 small wires in there are gonna be your balance leads for everything. So that's what we're gonna work on next. This right here, it goes directly in place here. You see there's 2 small holes. On the bottom here, you got 2 pins. They fit in those holes. And after I get everything in place, I like to glue that down, wrap it with some tape, and let it sit for a little while. That way I can finish the build of the battery. All right, there you go. So we went ahead and added some solder to those tips. All right, so this we're gonna take here to the connector here. That's gonna be 1 wire, that's gonna be black. Then on this cable here, green, blue, yellow, white, or yellow, white, red. Should be a lot easier if we had like a magnifying glass and a different soldering gun, but I've had this soldering gun since my dad owned the Radio Shack here in town many moons ago. Okay, that's all that it takes. Let that dry real quick. It did. I'm good to go. Repeat the same process for this yellow one here. Yellow is going to go to the front battery. Cool. All right, all 4 of those are done. Got some 16 gauge wire. This wire is going to connect your main positive and negative to the connector here. All right, so we got all the wires done. Everything on the front's done. We have power. Main power goes into the connector. Main negatives going in the connector. The green, the blue, the yellow, and the white balance leads are in the connector as well. This piece here, there's a slot for it in the back. I have 2 slots, one in the front, one in the back. See there? 2 slots there. You're gonna have another slot up here, and that's gonna be for the little button cover. Okay, so you press that and that's on there. Oh, there it goes. The little spring is held in place now. We're gonna have to glue this, wrap it with some electrical tape, wait a little while, and then we'll come back to it. So I taped it, went inside to eat supper, and well, things happen. Now it's the next day. I'm gonna get this right here tape pulled off. Let's see if we can get this cover on here and get this battery done. So now that piece is in, it's not going anywhere. So exactly off camera, I got it to go in. But I didn't get it to go in by pressing it down. What I did is I lined everything up. This bottom piece covers the top piece on the side here, on both sides. I lined this piece right here up, and I lined the back up. And basically what I did is I gently held it in place. I just hammered it with my hand. And you can kind of see in here, those tabs are all lined up in there. This back cover, it works because the spring's in place as well. Next, we're gonna need to attach these right here bolts that comes with the kit. This is a T9, Torx 9. It fits in there perfectly. So my gap across the back is good. The gap across the front is pretty good. I could probably tighten this one up a little bit more. All right, it's got a full battery. This is the one we just built because my old one, I put 9AH on the very top there. Let's see if it'll work. It works just fine. So now we got two 9AH batteries out of this right here. You know, I'm not letting this battery go to waste. I'm using the cells to make things that I will use. I would highly recommend you, if you do not have one of these lithium batteries, you might not have one and it might not go bad, but if it does, this is what you can use it for. And if you don't have one, on trash days, start looking for anything that has rechargeable batteries, is like Dyson vacuum cleaners, lawnmowers, electric weed eaters, cordless stuff, because generally out of the whole battery pack, one might be bad. Let me show you a prime example here real quick. All right, so a couple months before the Uno battery went bad, these batteries right here was in our like Roomba or whatever the thing's called that vacuums the floors up around the house. So what I did is I just ordered another pack off of Amazon. At that time, I wasn't, you know, harvesting these things. I really wasn't interested because it was only these batteries. And there's 4 in there, right? I have not charged these or anything. But this battery here is our 4 volts. Tell you what, let's change that. This one's here, 4.8 volts. This one here, 4.8. This one here, 4.8. This one here is at 1.33 volts. This battery was the culprit, and I wrote bad on it. I'm gonna see if this little device that I ordered will charge this one battery back up so we can reuse it on something else. But if not, we have 3 usable batteries, and these batteries, these are 18650s, and they're 2.6 amp hour batteries. So they're 2600 milliamp batteries. So with that being said, I have 3 good 18650s out of that Roomba that I kept. I have 1 bad one. I didn't throw it away. I'm gonna see if we can recharge it and bring it back to life. But if not, we have 1 bad battery. We got 3 good batteries. And I didn't throw these away. We can use these on all other kind of things. So that's what I'm doing with these lithium ion batteries. You might see more of these videos come out this year because I have lights that I want to make run longer, and I want to build things as well with stuff like that. So I appreciate you guys watching today's video. I understand not everyone is going to have an Uno battery where they can make things, but if you are resourceful, you can find these batteries here in other kind of devices on like trash days. And generally, it's only one bad cell out of the bunch, or 2 bad cells out of the bunch, and you could keep the batteries for other things. But I use them to make another DeWalt battery. So now I have 2 DeWalt 9 amp hour batteries, and the DeWalt batteries, I believe they are only 2.0 amp hours or like 1.5 amp hours a piece. And this right here is going to be 9 amp hours. Another thing is these cases right here were only $17. So if you can find the batteries for free or cheap, then you could build the DeWalt batteries for cheap as well. Anyways, I know it's not a very interesting video, but I just thought I would share, because this is a tool battery and it goes on a tool, and I can use the tool even longer. Appreciate it, guys. We'll see y'all later.